Given it is LGBT History Month, it's a good time to reflect on how much progress there has been with regard to LGBT and all other sexual rights. My name's Darren Langridge, and I'm Professor of Psychology and Sexuality in the School of Psychology at the Open University. We're living in a time of great social stress that appears to grow more acute every year. Threats of disease, social unrest and terror are myriad and continually mutating to form a cloud of social anxiety that feels like it might overwhelm us at any point. The sexual theorist Gail Rubin argued in the 1980s that people can become dangerously crazy about sex at times like these, with it assuming immense symbolic weight. But surely things have improved since the early 1980s when Gail Rubin was writing. We've got LGBT characters in popular television and music. Stephen Fry and Sandy Toksvig are national treasures. Publication of best-selling books like 50 Shades of Grey, and of course legal change in the form of same-sex marriage. Nobody's getting dangerously crazy about sex now, are they? Things have just been getting better. Well, I'm currently finishing my latest book for Oxford University Press, where I address this issue directly. In that book I argue that whilst there's been a huge amount of progress within the West for LGBT folk, this is not a simple story of liberal sexual progress. In the book I show that there are in fact forever new and inventive attempts to police the boundaries of sexual acceptability and permissibility, and many, often unintended, negative consequences to the rights that have been gained. The focus in the book is sexual citizenship, which concerns the nature of our sexual rights and responsibilities. My particular interest is in exploring cases on the boundaries of acceptability and permissibility, where there is a lack of state and wider public recognition or other legal, medical or cultural sanction. For me, these cases not only matter in their own terms for how they affect the people involved, but because they also provide insight into the cultural limits around the acceptability and permissibility of diverse sexual identities and practices. Through an analysis of a wide variety of cases concerned with same-sex sex, kinky sex, biomedicalised sex and techno-sex, I argue that much progress is contingent upon sex being private and contained. The key threat here is sexual excess, untrammelled desire and an uncontrollable other. The other in this case being perceived to be dangerous to the dominant social fabric, particularly normative institutions of heterosexuality, marriage and the family, and a neoliberal notion of individual responsibility and personal safety. Threat is, more often than not, mobilised by a sense of personal or wider socio-cultural disgust, in which we can see the failure to move beyond the limits of people's own sexual sensibilities. So for me at least, whilst I welcome much of the progress we have seen in the West with regard to sexual rights and wider cultural acceptance, I do not believe the battles are over. Not at all. Whilst we should be proud of our LGBT history and enjoy the changes where they have occurred, we must never be complacent. There remains much to do.